Alright, we find ourselves here for round number one up against Hunter. Played him quite a few times. Pretty good player. Very nice person as well. Say hey and good luck. And we're going to keep. This hand's pretty much whatever you can ask for. I mean, you have an island. In case you want to ponder turn one, you have a Dismal Backwaters or Black Source. I was going to say that this was a Delver, and then I re-looked at the art. So it wasn't a Delver. Excuse me. Nonetheless, we are underway. I have no idea what he's playing. Oh, Affinity. Okay. I don't know if Affinity is actually a very good matchup for this deck. I assume that it's a pretty hard struggle. But I know that Gurmag Angler is a big problem for them, so we'll see how that goes. I think I'd rather, instead of pondering and looking if I can get like a Delver or something, I think I'd rather just curve out a bit. Oh, crap. We're in trouble. Wow, that's a lot of pondering. Uh, let's not do that. Let's play the island. I don't think pretending to draw into it is actually good. I think I'd rather ponder and try to set up um than you know, try to hit a delve or something. So we have island, dismal backwater, brainstorm. I think I want to keep the island and then mill away the island and the brainstorm. I kind of want the untapped land. I know that it's only one swamp, but I still want it. So one, two, three. Nope. And then we'll mental note at the end of turn. I don't think I want either of those cards that are on top at the moment. I think I'd rather draw into something better. This matchup is definitely, definitely in Affinity's favor game one. And the reason why that is because I only have two Ghastly Demises. Uh, the Agony Warps, they do work, but obviously they don't do as much work. And I think he mulliganed, because he shouldn't be down to two cards. Oh, right, he mulliganed to six. I remember seeing that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and mental note. Ah, hello, guys, and mice. Fancy seeing you here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and gas minimize this now. So that way he doesn't get an extra mana with the Springleaf Drum, and I'd rather do it now, so that way, in case he needs that mana on his upkeep, he can't use it. And we'll keep up Counterspell or Think Twice. I don't really think that there's a reason to ponder over one of the two. I mean, if he goes another Carapace Forger or a Mirror Enforcer, or even an Atog, I mean, a Atog can be a real problem. I don't really want to see that, so keep that in mind. So my opponent played an Auriok Sunchaser, and I think I'm going to counter that. They're floating a red, and they specifically tapped in a way that the red is still floating. So I have to assume they're playing an Atog here. Oh, they're Galvanic Blasting me. Even if my opponent played Atog there, I think I can comfortably deal with Atog slightly. Holy crap, that's a lot of ponders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so let's go ahead and Gurmag Angler now. The reason to do this is in case I mill something that I want to keep in the graveyard. You know. So we'll play Gurmag Angler. I'm kind of surprised that my opponent Galvanic Blast me there, but I'm not really surprised at the same time because they don't actually have any um, red mana. Ooh, I want all of these cards actually. Um, well, maybe I don't want the Gurmag. Actually, I don't think I want the Mystical Teachings right now. Maybe it's fine to actually just shuffle them all away. No, that can't be right. That sounds stupid, doesn't it? I don't really want the Mystical Teachings, but at the same time, I don't really want to mill it either. I think I'm going to shuffle. The reason why is I have two more Ponders, a Mental Note, and a Think Twice. I have to draw into something. I kind of want lands too. Okay, well, I guess I'll just draw that. Go ahead and Ponder again. See what I get. The good thing about Mental Note is it's an instant, just like Thought Scour, so I can do it on my upkeep if I really need to. The reason I didn't want to keep Mystical Teachings there is because I was going to have to spend 2 turns not drawing a land, and keeping the Gurmag Angler there, I'm not going to really have time to cast it. Okay, well, I do want the Sky Spawner, but I think I'd rather have the land instead. So we'll play the land, and I think I'm actually just going to shuffle the other 2 cards away. No, maybe not. Depends. Actually, Probably not, because I want to keep this guy spawner. That way I can get some damage going through, and that way I can keep attacking. So I'm not going to crack this yet. Let's draw Sky Spawner. Let's get in there for 5. I don't mind taking 1. I do, however, have to be careful that my opponent has a Fling in their hand. It might be fair to actually Agony Warp this so that they don't get any red. But hopefully the last card in their hand is a Galvanic Blast, so they just block and Galvanic Blast, and I have nothing to worry about. And I can start playing a little more freely and setting up a little more. The reason why I wouldn't care is because I have another Gurmag Angler on top that I do plan on drawing. I don't plan on cracking this just yet. Interesting. My opponent just decided to block there. That's... Huh. Why would my opponent just decide to block? I mean, wouldn't it be better to take 5 and then keep... I guess you just take the opportunity to block now rather than, maybe lose it later. Alright. Alright, so my opponent cast a Mirror Enforcer after cracking the Chromatic Star. I still think I want to draw the other Gurmag Angler, so I'm not going to crack this yet. Now I will. I will crack this now. The reason why is because with Ponder, I'd rather Mental Note away cards instead of shuffling anyway. And I think I'd rather get a second Swamp. So here, I think I just attack for 7. Agony Warp when he blocks, and then I'll Ponder. Hopefully get somewhere in life. He might not block as well. Wouldn't be surprised, but I'll just chump the crap out of it anyway. See what he does. Oop. Alright, so my opponent blocked. Just going to go ahead and Agony Warp. Now, if my opponent does have a Galvanic Blast here, which I assume they don't, they could still kill it, but, So let's go ahead and Ponder. We still didn't play a land for the turn. Keep that in mind. Okay. We'll draw the Swamp. And play it to make our land drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fact, we can actually just play Gurmag Angler here. And this is why this little 1/1 is so good. I got scared there. I thought I messed up on the math. It just turns out I didn't click the Ponder. Oh, God. So my opponent drew their red source and didn't play anything. I guess they must have just another land in their hand. So now I'm going to attack for 12. I don't really fear anything as far as haste goes. I don't think my opponent's playing anything with flash as well. I think we'll just hold off on the Brainstorm for now. The cool thing is we have Thought Scour and Think Twice, 2 cards we can just put into the graveyard, so that's not a big deal. Frogmite I think I'll just let go through. In case the thing in my opponent's hand is actually usable with a creature in play. Could also be a Fling. That's also true. It could also be a Fling. That is very true. It could also be a Fling. But my opponent is currently dead on board. So whatever extra cards I could see from my opponent in case they're playing any sweet tech that I have not seen before, be nice to see. Alright, we got game 1. That was nice. So, as far as cards we're bringing in the Chainer's Edicts, the Doomblade. I think Chainer's Edicts is still good against Affinity, even though, yes, they do have Flare Husks, but I can definitely say we're taking out the Duresses, probably the Negate. I think the Deprive can come out. I don't think we need the Deprive effect, and I kind of want to make my land drops. Bring in 2 Hydroblasts. I don't think we need 3. Definitely bring in the Remove Soul. And I'm not really sure I think the extra Mystical Teachings is actually necessary. And I don't like Disfigure. I think Ghastly Demise is just better. And I'm going to go down a Mental Note. I think that the 5th Mental Note might be better than Mystical Teachings, depending on if they have Relic of Progenitus or not. So we'll see how that works out. Alright. I don't think that this hand is bad per se, but I don't think it's also very good. But I think it's okay to keep. The good thing about Agony Warp against my opponent's particular build of Affinity is that they're playing Auriok Sunchasers. So they get to waste 2 mana for me to kill it. instead of them playing Cyber Hoverguard, which is only 1 mana, which could actually matter. So we'll see about that. We did win game 1 against what I think should be a very bad game 1 for you. But the good thing is, if we lose this game, we'll be on the play for game 3. And you are not a very good draw. The reason why this hand is not really all that good is because we don't have a second blue source. Alright, well, we're probably just going to kill that soon. Alright, well, we're going to play this. And I'm just going to say go. I don't think that there's any benefit to doing it on my main phase rather than waiting to see if my opponent equips. I highly doubt they will, but, you know, nice to see if they do or not. Alright, so my opponent played a Frogmite, and they might be out of lands. My opponent could just be doing the F6 strat. Go ahead and kill this now. Hold on a second. I actually screwed up. the Moto rule. I'm pretty sure I did this the right way. Yes, I did. Okay, good. I was about to take 1 damage for no good reason. Before I noticed. Yep. Take nothing. My opponent's on the 2-land plan. That's a lot of Gurmaganglers. Alright, let's go ahead and ponder here first. In case I get an island with 2 cards I don't want. So we will see. I could have probably taken out the Sultai Scavenger, but I figure it's a 3/3 flyer. It's got to be good. Agony War, Brainstorm, Mental Note. Well, we don't want any of these. We want land. We got there. Unfortunately, we do not have enough. But at least now it guarantees me the island. This is one of the matchups where, yes, I wish I had a 3rd Ghastly Demise, but I don't. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and crack this for an island, and then F6. Alright, so my opponent missed their land drop again. We drew another island, which is good. So we can either cast him, or we could cast him. And I think I rather thought... Let's see. I can Thought Scour and then cast Gurmagangler, leaving up Counterspell. That seems better. So let's go ahead and Thought Scour. We got a Chainer's Edict and a Ghastly Demise. Well, that's unfortunate. So we could cast the Sultai Scavenger and leave the Chainer's Edict in, but since he has this in play, I don't really think that matters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We also lost a Ghastly Demise, which sucks, but what are you gonna do? That's the bane of playing this deck for me. It's just I sometimes just lose cards I don't want to lose, but unfortunately, you know, that just happens. So my opponent has a Mirror Enforcer. What the heck was that? They played a Great Furnace. I think I'm just going to counterspell this. And the reason for that is just the less pressure on me, the better. And I can't really imagine what else I would want to counterspell. I mean, if my opponent had to Galvanic Blast my Gurmagangler after I blocked their Frogmite, it wouldn't really be that big of a matter for me. If they lose their Galvanic Blast, I'm fine with that. Oh, they're saying go? That's cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they could have played another Mirror Enforcer, leaving up Galvanic Blast, but they didn't. I could probably just Thought Scour my opponent now. Alright, well, let's attack, since we're casting one of these 2 this turn anyway. If my opponent does have a Galvanic Blast, and they're able to block with the Flare Husk, so be it. It's really not that big of a deal. Alright, it's exactly what they want to do. I don't understand why my opponent didn't attack with the Frogmite. I guess they just value the Frogmite. Yeah, they're not going to kill it until, because then it would just be an easy delve. So let's go ahead and Mental Note first. We lost another Angler and another Counterspell. Man, that sucks. We did, however, get a Think Twice. So let's Thought Scour him, because I don't really feel like losing any more cards. And this you might get lucky. This is a lot of times people wonder why the heck I do this, and it's just like, well, I don't want to get unlucky. Oh wow, they lost Flaying and an Ancient Den. Let's pretend that actually mattered. Oh wow, okay. Well, we saw all 4 Gurmaganglers. So we could play him and leave up Think Twice so we could play another Gurmgangler. I think another Gurmgangler is probably better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just pay with all three. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 4. Whoops. Leave the Gurmgangler in the graveyard just to make my opponent think that maybe I have a Grim Harvest in the deck somewhere they have to play around. There's the Galvanic Blast. I don't know, like, I guess for me, after seeing the Chainer's Edict, I might have been more wanting to keep the whatchamacallit, the the Flare Husk token around, the Germ token, but I guess for my opponent that didn't really matter that much. Alright, so there's the attack, blah blah. Oh, there's Agony Warp, so that's good. Let's see. If I attack... Alright, let's go ahead and attack here and see what my opponent wants to do. Because I have 2 more win conditions in my hand. My opponent could double block here and then sack an artifact to the Atog. They're not. They're just taking 5. Alright, I respect that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might as well just play the other Gurmgangler. And just say go. Doomblade would be really nice instead of this damn Agony Warp, but can't have them all. So the other reason I attacked with the Gurmgangler is because I feel like the later the game goes, the more likely I am to not win, because Atog is only going to get better. So 1, 2, 3. So okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's 6, 7, 8. So I would die. So I have to block the Atog and make him sack 2 artifacts. And I'm assuming he has another creature in his hand because he attacked with the Frogmind. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm always wrong. God, I suck at Magic. I think my opponent has a second Fling in their hand. I think they're just doing the math. Which they would be correct. I would die. I had to go do exactly 0, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, be 14, 15, 17. Yep, I would have actually died if my opponent had a second Fling. It looks like they do. I don't think my opponent would go for it without it. So that sucks. I didn't really see the other Fling coming. That's too bad. The Fling Atog combo is particularly good against this deck because you're tapping out a lot to play these creatures, which sucks. But what are you gonna do? It's my opponent. Are they showing me Fling? Taking quite a while to do all the math. Oh, what? My opponent kept Timur Battle Rage in against me? Really? Two of them even. I don't really know what the second one does, but 2 of them even. Well, I might have been playing a bit differently had I known my opponent was doing that. Okay. No wonder they were doing so much math. Really? You keep it in against me? I'm quite surprised by that. But since my opponent did do that, I think that and this is actually what I want. I don't think the Sultai Scavenger is actually going to get me very far. I think Delver is all I need for a good flyer. And we'll take out, and basically we'll just swap a Chainer's Edict for a Hydroblast. And we'll run like that. I really should point out that I do in fact, we're about to start too. I do in fact tap out a lot in this deck to cast my big creatures, so it's not, this hand's good. Stupid Swamp. It's not, unimaginable that my opponent would keep in Hydroblast. I'm just really surprised because And I always fall into the category of, oh, you're playing black. I probably should not be playing Timber Battle Rage. But what do I know? And we just lost the game because my opponent's playing Relic Progenitus. That's another reason I don't really like playing this deck too much in this format. Uh, this card has become very, very popular. The thing about it is, it's not incredibly good against the blue-black teachings deck, but it's obviously really good against this deck. Like a lot of people I know, I read around have gotten very angry that people play this card because they don't really understand why it's so good. But trust me, it's pretty good nowadays in this format. And I think my opponent has got the nuts. I'm 100% sure my opponent's got the nuts. There's no reason for them to tap a red unless they're Galvanic Blasting my Delver. But I guess they're going to wait on my upkeep. Okay, I guess we'll... No? My opponent playing a Tog? Were they choosing which one to play? I'm just going to assume they have a slow computer. But my opponent has the nuts. This is another reason why this is such a bad matchup for this deck. It's just if the Affinity player gets a draw like this, it's really, really impossible for you to win. Because like right now, I mean, I don't even really have much. This is one matchup where you do need a lot of Ghastly Demises, but I'm actually just gonna shuffle these away, try to get something good. I did not. But sure. There's another reason why this is such a tricky deck to play. I mean, there's so much mono black going around that playing Ghastly Demises are such a liability. But I think at the same time, maybe mono black is just such a okay. Maybe mono black is just such a bad matchup that there's nothing you can do. You might as well just throw it away. But if that's true, I mean, mono black is one of, if not the most popular deck nowadays. So if that's the case, this deck is probably not a great choice right now. But other than that, I mean, Affinity doesn't get these draws all the time. This is one of the fun parts of playing Affinity is when it gets these draws. That's the fun part. And you're now seeing Chainer's Edict, the power of Flare Husk, and why I fell in love with it after a little while. Brainstorm? Alright. I didn't cast this Brainstorm because I feel like we need the mana. That being said, I'm not dead, per se, but it's going to be kind of hard. Unfortunately, I can't draw the Island and the Agony Warp, so we're just going to go ahead and draw the Agony Warp here. And we're going to pass the turn. And probably going to just kill both Frogmites and take the 4. I think that's probably safer. The obvious problem with that is it's going to be a little tough to deal with Carapace Forger, but if we end up not being able to, I mean, there's not much we can do about it. Alright. I only have one card in the graveyard. Why is it still making me choose? Come on, Magic Online. Aren't you a smart Pokemon? I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. It's just not possible. Oh, yeah. Magic Online's a great program. Kind of funny how I'm using it and I'm making fun of it. Alright, so -3, -0, blah, blah, blah. And say go. Ah, these are the bad times. Opponent's got Fling too, where they have Timber Battle Rage. I have no idea. My opponent's playing Fling and Timber Battle Rage. They're doing the 2 Timber Battle Rage, 1 Fling, I think, and my opponent drew the 1 Fling. Is my opponent going to fling well, I guess they could fling this Frogmite at the Delver, and then I would... No, wait, they could fling the one that's dying at the Delver. I, for some reason, thought that this one was the -0, -3, but it's not. Okay, so... My opponent, did not cast anything. So that was strange. And I'm going to pass turn, making my opponent take 3, as opposed to blocking, does not really seem very good. Hydroblast. No, I don't think I can let that go through. I don't know why he's doing that now. Actually, I'm stupid. I know why. Because my opponent probably has Temur Battle Rage in hand. Either way, you know, I don't really think it'd make a difference. I guess my opponent's just testing the waters. Because I could go to 1. Not exactly sure. The other problem here, of course, is why I hate Brainstorm so much sometimes. You just you just have to sift through a couple of draws. So if my opponent has Temur Battle Rage and I don't draw an Agony Warp or a whatchamacallit, okay, well, if I don't draw anything, I am dead, because he can just give this actually, I'm not dead, I suppose. I suppose I wouldn't be dead, would I? I have to assume my opponent's Temur Battle Rage, though. They've been... No? Okay. That's weird. I could have sworn that they were telegraphing it the whole time. Guess I was wrong. Well, we might not be dead, people. We might not be dead. Let's go ahead and Brainstorm now. Drawing Gurmagangler obviously doesn't do anything. So we'll just put the Brainstorm on top. Kind of funny how we drew the Agony Warp anyway. So we weren't dead, which is great. Chainer's Edict you. Yay, the Chainer's Edict worked. I'm not really sure why my opponent attacked there with the Flare Husk token, nor am I sure why my opponent chose to whatchamacallit, chose to Galvanic Blast me on their main phase, but I honestly don't know. I'm not really sure. Okay, so my opponent cracked the relic, so now the Gurmagangler on top is not that bad. Chromatic Star, sure. You got it. I hope that's not Perilous Research in the hand, because that would be really annoying. I assume they are cracking the Chromatic Star. Oh, it also helps that my opponent's down to 5 minutes and 54 seconds, which I just assume my opponent has other things to attend to as well as playing Magic. So my opponent cracked the Chromatic Star, but did not get anything. So we're just going to attack with the Delver and pass turn. I'm not going to use the Brainstorm right away at the end of turn. I don't really think there'd be a point in that. And now we get to keep up Agony Warp and Counterspell, which hopefully gets us somewhere. Not sure. We can't let that go through, because then we just die right off the bat. I have to assume my opponent now has the one card in hand they've had the whole time, but we will see. Now we'll Brainstorm. Just see what we get. Hydroblast. Okay. It's kind of interesting, because then the Delver doesn't really flip. But I guess next turn we could just play Gurmagangler. Yes. So we'll actually just put the Delver on top. And we will attack for 3. Drawing the Hydroblast there is good, but I think playing the Gurmagangler is better. If my opponent has another Atog or has the Fling and needs the Atog, and I die, well, throw your hands up in the air and you say, what can you do? Man, my opponent had the Nut Draw, but they're just not drawing anything afterwards. I'm not going to lie, getting pretty lucky here. But luck is a part of Magic. You need a lot of it to win any game. Okay, maybe not a lot of it. I mean, in Vintage, you don't need a lot of luck to win with Dredge in Game 1. You don't need a lot of luck to win with Oath either, but that's neither here nor there. Alright, Relic of Progenitus. Can't do much about that anyway. Not surprising that my opponent is playing multiples of them in the sideboard. Like I said, this is a great card. But we got to a point in the game where, luckily, it didn't matter. So, can't stop that. But this Delver says I win the game. So, if they can't stop that Delver, I win the game. I should also point out that I'm not really sure my opponent made any mistakes. I think my opponent just made a couple of plays that I found to be questionable, but I'm sure my opponent had a game plan. They have a Fling, yep. So they did have the Fling the whole time. but we have the Hydroblast to counter it. And alright, we won. We won through what I believe to be the nut draw. So that was great. My opponent's going to make me do it. I respect that. Nope. Lionwell's on top. Alright, click attack with all. And okay, I'll see you in round number 2. Thank you so much for watching.